I'm Luke Mann with Rangeline Homes, headed back up to our 2-dog Vista build where we're pouring the slab today. Let's go check it out. All right, so as you can see, there's been a lot of work completed since our last time out here. We've got our underground plumbing in, we've got our hydronic tubing in, and we've got our vapor barrier down and gravel and all of the rigid insulation underneath that. So if you come in here a little bit closer, what you can see is underneath all of this vapor barrier, first there's a layer of gravel, and you can kind of see some of that around the foundation. On top of that gravel, there's the rigid foam here, and there's actually 4 inches of rigid foam. And then over the top of that is the vapor barrier, and we use Stego Wrap as our vapor barrier. What that's going to do is help reduce and eliminate any moisture that's underneath in the soil, in the gravel. It's going to encapsulate all of that moisture so it doesn't actually leak and get up into the home, creating condensation, humidity issues, all sorts of things. Here in Colorado and in the foothills, it's a dry climate, so we are actually humidifying our homes. One way we can control the humidity in the home is to eliminate the moisture coming up through the soil from underneath our concrete slab. And we want to do that so that we can really control and keep the humidity levels in the home at a consistent level. So another super important thing we did on this home, since it's all slab on grade, my site supervisor, Pat, actually made these blockouts. And these blockouts are 7.5 by 7.5 with an interior dimension of 6 by 6. And it's nothing scientific, but all this does is go around our pipes. And so once we set that down around the pipe, the concrete will get poured around it, and then we'll remove the wood. And he used pin nails, as you can see here, and then it's easily removable once the concrete's been poured. So once again, we've slipped these over the top. Concrete will get poured up to the top of these blockouts. And then what that does is it gives us some flexibility for these pipes. Say for instance, we needed to put a 30-degree or whatever to really nail the center of that wall, even though we've measured 4 times, 5 times, I've measured, my supervisor measured, but just in case we need to do some sort of access or get to this pipe, we have the ability to do so. So this hydronic system was designed very early on in the process. Our clients wanted hydronic heat, so warm floors. They didn't want a forced air system like HVAC and mechanicals. They really wanted a comfortable heat, and being at this altitude, hydronic heat in the slab is just a very comfortable way to heat your home. And the white tubing is actually our hydronic tubing. So we'll have a boiler system in the mechanical room. That boiler system will fire and heat the water that runs through that tubing. Hot water running through the tubing will then heat the slab. Okay, so now that you know what's underneath the concrete, let's go check out where they've actually poured the concrete and they're starting to finish it. We have all of the guys, I think we have 12 of them working, and we have our pump truck, we have our concrete trucks, and once again our concrete trucks are dumping the concrete into the pump truck, and it's getting piped through and out, and you can see all these guys working together. It's like a dance. The one guy who's handling where the concrete is actually coming out has a really important job to make sure that he doesn't place or pour too much concrete in one spot or too little of concrete in one spot. He's placing just the right amount of concrete so that these guys don't have to rake just a huge amount of concrete to get things as flat as they can. So as you can see, we've isolated the slab with this rigid foam. So we have 2 inches of rigid foam, then we have our concrete poured up to that, and what this rigid foam is doing is it's actually creating a thermal break, because we don't want this hot slab, this warm slab, to be heating our foundation wall. And so what that's doing, this is creating that thermal break. So this works in opposite as well. So on a very, very cold day, this foundation wall can get really, really cold and transfer that cold energy right into the slab if we didn't have this thermal break. And this thermal break runs all the way down to the footing. So even down here, if this gets cold, this rigid foam is going to thermally break that cold, but it's also going to help not transition the warm from this slab into the foundation wall. So this is an area where we have a lot of glass, and according to code we need to have an outlet in this exterior wall at a certain linear dimension, and so it's really tough to put an outlet in glass. And so what we did was we have to, according to code, now we've got to put a floor outlet in, and you'll see them throughout the house. Actually, there's a number of them throughout here because there's so much glass in the house. The cool thing is with these blockouts, we'll pull this block out and then we'll be able to place this floor outlet, and this will actually hold the outlet and the plug and everything. And what's great is now with this block out, we can actually place this perfectly. So once we have our framed walls in, we'll pull a dimension, and set this exactly where it's supposed to be. There's a lot going on today. We're getting our concrete slab poured over a bunch of infrastructure underneath here. Plumbing, electrical, water lines, hydronics. Next step is going vertical, framing and steel. But as you can see, the weather is starting to change. We're actually getting into fall, which then is winter, which poses new challenges as we begin to frame this home. So stay tuned for more episodes. Make sure to like and subscribe.